Hi, I'm Cindy.
And I'm Dave.
We're glad you're here.
Thanks for checking out Kotaku Bonsai.
Hey there, bonsai friends. Today is all about Japanese hardwood propagation. And I'm here at my buddy Tom's house, and we're gonna take cuttings from this beautiful Japanese maple here that he's got growing in his front yard. We're gonna be selective about some of the branches we take so that we're not leaving huge bald spots. We're gonna start with what's closest to his house. And we're gonna try to take some medium to large cuttings, take them home and get them in our propagator for growing on Japanese maples. Here we go. So it's November 8th, 2025, and look at this gorgeous Japanese maple. I mean, it's just in its fall splendor. This was green in the spring and summer, and it's just got this beautiful golden color with reds, some browns in there too, just gorgeous. Now for our first cut, after we've been examining the tree, I think we're gonna take that one. It's kind of long, it gets close to the edge of the house. So we'll remove that, but leave the other branches there so we don't leave any bald spots. So here I am with the 3 limbs that we brought down. I brought a bin so that I can take them home and it doesn't make a whole mess in the truck. But I'm gonna do a little pre-processing of these cuttings where I'm gonna put them into, say, 2-foot sections and leave some of the leaves on so I know which end is up. It takes me about 30 minutes to get home, where I'll do the rest of the processing, seal them, put them in the propagator. But for now, I'm just gonna do a little trimming and get them in the bin, take them home. So I'm back home now. I've got my cuttings here. I'm gonna process them into smaller bits, and then we're gonna put them in the propagator here. Now for these cuttings, I'm gonna look for things that are about the size of a pencil up to about the thickness of your thumb, 8 to 12 inches long. I am gonna seal the tops of them. We're gonna dip the base in rooting hormone before we stick them in the propagator here. And then I am making some alterations to our process this year. All of these cuttings are going to be stored in the garage where it is cold, but it's going to be out of the elements. I think being out in the elements too long contributed to some of the losses we had. One of the other variables we'll be testing this year is to see if a more controlled environment over the winter will give us better results come spring and summertime. We can also employ bottom heat, and that will help extend the growing season so that these cuttings can get off to a great start, maybe even as early as February or early March, 6 weeks or so before they might otherwise outside. Just to show you at first, we're gonna pick through here and we're gonna take various cuttings like this. That's about pencil thickness. And we're gonna get them in the propagator. This is one of our propagators that we've been using for the last couple years. It's a very simple Rubbermaid tub that I drilled holes in the bottom, holes in the lid for air circulation and moisture. And the rooting media is just perlite and vermiculite. It's completely inorganic. It does hold good moisture, but it drains very, very well. And that's it. So it's a really nice mix, inorganic, and that's what we're going to use. And after about 20 minutes, here's the cuttings that I've got. Some fairly thick ones. I'm going to experiment with some fairly thick ones. And then these are pencil size-ish. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rooting hormone. I'm going to strip the leaves off of these as I go, dip the base, stick them in there. All right, so you can see that I've pretty much filled up this bin. I gave everything, about an inch or inch and a half of space. Small to medium. And I still have the thick ones there. So I'm going to get my second bin going and finish up the job. So I've gone ahead and processed these large cuttings. This is the top end. This is the bottom end. So I've gone and sealed anywhere I made a cut on the top ends. And for these, I'm going to do a bit of an experiment this year. On the bottoms, I'm going to use the rooting hormone, and I'm going to let it dry a little bit. And then I'm going to seal the bottom as well. Now, I can already hear you from through the screen saying, oh my God, why would you seal the bottom? But I'm doing an experiment. Because last year, what I saw with these thick cuttings was that once springtime came around, the color of the bark just drained progressively, week by week by week, down and out the bottom, as if the cutting was just completely losing its water column. So remember, the cambium is the living tissue that surrounds the tree. That's where all the metabolic processes happen. That's where all the fluid is. And what I saw in almost all of my thick cuttings was that it just drained over the course of 2 months. So I'm going to do an experiment where I actually seal the very bottom so that I don't get that fluid loss. And I'm curious to see if, with a little gentler conditions, can a sealed cutting top and bottom result in rooting that gives me a thick cutting next year. So that's what we're going to try. Okay, well, I'm back. It's been a couple hours since I put the rooting gel on these cuttings. I let it dry just for a little bit so that the rooting gel isn't so runny. You know, it dried out just a little bit. And what I'm going to go ahead and do is liberally apply some cut paste to the bottom. Yes, the bottom. I'm going to seal the bottom. And you might think I'm crazy, and maybe I am. Maybe this is going to be a complete failure. We'll see next spring. I have the thought that maybe, just maybe, it'll help these big, thick cuttings root better and grow on and reduce the time that it takes to take a thick cutting into a nice bonsai specimen. Now again, this could totally be a failure. And if it is, I'll accept that. But maybe, just maybe, it might work. And if I didn't try, I wouldn't know. So like I said, I'm gonna apply some cut paste to the bottoms, and then we're gonna get them in the propagator. Well, so I think today was pretty successful. We took a lot of cuttings, you know, of small, medium, large, and extra large here. We're gonna try a couple different variables this season, including bottom heat, storing them in the garage through the winter, and sealing the bottom on some of the extra large cuttings to see if we can get them to root more successfully. So a couple different variables to try out here. We'll see what's successful or not come next spring and summer. But we will be doing other hardwood cutting videos like we've done in the past, including with Chase for his aid. We've got a couple other really awesome interviews with bonsai artists coming up. And so the year's not quite over. We still got a lot to do. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you in the next one.